Hey there, Brian King here. I was just thinking about this as I'm reading through the Facebook post today, and I'm seeing the same pattern that I've been seeing for years that I help parents through. And this is something that is really, really important for you to kind of get in your mind in terms of where an essential difficulty lies when it comes to raising your child with either Asperger's, ADHD, dyslexia, or so on. Is because our kids can be so impulsive, they can be so reactive, that guess what they teach us to do? They teach us how to be reactive as well. And before we know it, that becomes our lifestyle. And so many parents that I see throwing up their hands, saying, I've tried everything, I've done it all. The reality is that you have gotten yourself into a pattern of putting out fires. And you think that that's the way to deal with your kid. In fact, the school system enables that perspective. They do a whole lot of behavioral stuff that is meant to nip it in the bud, to deal with the problem that is in your face today. Well, in spite of what the IEP or the paperwork says that, well, we want our child to learn how to self-advocate, we want our child to eventually get to the end of high school and transition to college so that they can make a life for themselves. Guess what? None of this behavioral stuff prepares them for that because it focuses too much on solving short-term problems. The problems that are inconveniencing me today. That's where the focus is so much. A lot of the parents that I work with do what I call stop it parenting. Stop doing that. Stop bugging your sister. Stop spending so much time on your video games. Whatever it is. And it's all that reactivity. My kid does something that bugs me, I say, stop it. And it's only focused on eliminating the frustration of the moment. So let me ask you this. How is stop it parenting or behavioral stuff in school to nip it in the bud going to prepare your child with the confidence and the problem-solving strategies they need to be successful in college and eventually live on their own? Never going to happen. One of the reasons my boys are as successful as they are, one of the reasons I'm as successful as I can be with my challenges, is because whatever I do with them, whatever I teach them, is attached to this one outcome. I will not send my boys into the world being helpless. Okay? What I mean by that is I want them to be self-determined, know who they are, know what their goals are, know what their values are, and being able to take proactive, organized action around that. Yeah, this is all stuff that's made very, very hard by executive function deficits, but guess what? I'm equipping them with the tools so that they don't go into the world helpless, period. I want them to be able to be empowered. The more you teach kids to be reactive, the more helpless they are, because what they learn is that the environment and people around them determine how they feel about themselves, how they feel about the world, how they feel in the moment. That is not a recipe for success. That's a recipe for victimhood, period. Okay? So I really want to impress upon you and encourage you as a fellow parent to look at what you're doing and ask yourself, have I become part of this reactive pattern with my child? Whatever the response is, if you respond with anger, frustration, impatience, and you raise your voice, and it's all about what you did that inconvenienced me, what you did that upset me, teachers as well. The more you do that nonsense, the more you are not involved in preparing this child to succeed once they are an adult. So the focus needs to shift. It needs to shift now, and it needs to shift dramatically. It needs to be attached to that long-term outcome of, I need to send a self-determined child into the world. Not one that is helpless, not one that's a victim. Now, can I give you a simple way to do this? No. It's a process. It's a program. That's why I put all this stuff together. That's why I've spent the past 18 plus years collecting articles, developing strategies so that I can take you step by step through this. I get emails almost every day from somebody that wants me to give them the magic wand, the magic ingredient, so that it can be easy. It's not. Okay? It's parenting. It's not easy. But are there specific things that you can do and do consistently to get better results? Yeah. It's going to require work for you too. the first thing it's going to require is for you to forgive yourself for being imperfect as a parent. Period. We're human beings that are raising very high maintenance children. And that takes a lot more patience, a lot more determination, and a lot more hope than the average parent whose kid just seems to live their life with ease and never get any trouble. We don't have that kid. We have a kid that's going to grow us in a way we never thought possible. And that's good for everybody involved. It's harder work. Don't get me wrong. I live it every day. But it's an amazing journey when you have the tools that help you feel empowered instead of victimized. So I could stay on this soapbox for a long time, and I'm not going to. I just wanted to give you this information to really get you thinking about just how important this is. And if you want me to help you with this shift, feel free to comment under this or PM me, and we'll talk about how to get started. I hope this has been helpful. This is Brian King, and we'll talk again real soon.